Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. North America, or wherever you may find yourself. I'm Silver Sterling, and are you ready for a mystery? Hexaco Motor Oils presents the Hexaco Mystery Radio Hour, sponsored by Hexaco. Tonight, we bring you tales from the gritty streets of Chicago with Gunn for Hire.
Everybody loves making choices. Cake or a dirt sandwich. A night at the Ritz or a week at the Chateau de Hooverville. But when it comes to the tough choices, that's where the butter really meets the bread. And for Tommy Bam Bam Prue, Miles Pike and Irving Holt, they gotta make a tough choice and maybe face a nasty truth about themselves.
Choices. I wasn't good at them. Just look at my record. Any of the several pages that the boys in blue loved to throw at me. After all, the only people with the ability to make real choice had money. Lots of it. One seemingly small choice I made twisted into a 600-pound gorilla on my back, weighing me down and making me feel lost, unwanted, unforgiven, and alone. Choices. A small choice with massive consequences can fog up all your good memories and all your better judgments by clouding your brain with self-pity, loathing, doom. You recognize doom easily. It's a feeling and a taste. It's black and heavy. Comes down over your head, wraps tentacles around you, and sinks long, dirty fingernails into your heart. Plus the smell. Doom had the smell of spilt gin and cheap perfume. Or was it sweat and old leather? Regardless, the smell of the club reminded me I needed to make another choice. One I hoped would be better than my last choice.
So, Bam Bam, we didn't quite finish up with you here yet. So let's finish that up here before the rest of you. We have Holt stuck in an alleyway as well. What were you? Or where did we leave you off at?
The cop had asked for a bribe, and I had headed in.
Oh yes, that's right. You went in to talk to Cosmo. All right, so you're able to find Cosmo pretty easy, and he's sitting in his upper balcony lounge circle. Smoking cigars and having a little bit of brandy. Tommy, what's going on?
I kept a lookout, saw a officer of Johnny Law, gave the nod and the wink, the bells got pulled. He, however, is astute and has itchy palms.
Yeah, sure. He, did he get inside?
No, he's still out on the street. I managed to stall him.
He, plops a cigar in his mouth and he stands up and kind of looks you up and down, grabs you by your shoulders. You didn't let him in. That's what I asked for. That's what you delivered. So he wants a few dollars. Yeah, I can deal with that. Good job, Tommy. I'm glad I hired you. You're working out just fine. He reaches in, pulls out a billfold, and you just see it's just packed with bills. There's just money in there. He pulls out.
Kill him and loot the body. No, I'm just kidding.
Boom! He pulls out 2 20s. This should keep him quiet plenty.
Give a slight nod and back away and then turn and head back outside.
And as you're going, he's like, "Hey, Tommy,
Sir?
you know what? You did a good job. I'm feeling generous." He reaches his hand out and he goes to shake your hand, and he puts a 5 in there in your hand. Take that for yourself.
I can't, sir. Thank you.
No, you can, and he looks you in the eye, and you will.
Tommy groans with his interior dialogue, knowing that that's going to cost him later.
I was wondering if it was going through Tommy's mind to give the officer $20 as the bribe instead of 40.
Why, yes. Are you psychic?
We're about to find out.
Tommy's also not that smart and thinking about making bad decisions, and the alleyway door is unlocked.
Ooh. All right, so you've got $45 in your hands. What are you gonna do with it?
Yes. 25 is going in one pocket, 20 is going in the other.
Okay. All right, you come back outside. Officer Kelly, still there. Oh, hey, you came back. I was beginning to get a little nervous there. These fine folks have been waiting just fine. They all nice and patient-like, you know?
The first two, the couple in line, since the other couple came out, and now Officer Kelly's out, I'm gonna let them in. Apologize for the wait. Just to make Officer Kelly wait a little more in the cold.
No, that's okay. Thank you, sir. You have a good night, sir. Thank you. They go scurrying into the club.
Enjoy your dancing.
Yeah.
Officer.
Yeah.
It's kind of cold out here. Perhaps you should go get yourself a cup of coffee and get warmed up somewhere. And I'll hold out my hand to give him a handshake and have a 20 in it.
He grabs it, shakes your hand. I might just do that. Pulls his hand away, looks down. Yeah. I think a coffee sounds good. Hey, and do you bounce here every Friday night? Is that right?
Only when the boss needs me.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got ourselves a few weeks, until this prohibition goes away, and then I might come back Friday. What do you think about that?
Well, I know that there's probably going to be a lot of establishments opening up in a month.
Well, yeah, that's we've been hearing. That's what we've been hearing. Yeah. So my time might be a little spread thin, but I think for the delirium here, I can always try and make some time on a Friday, especially with a good bouncer like you here at the door. Am I right? I feel like I'm right.
Now I'm just going to stare at him silently.
Are you attempting to intimidate him?
I believe so, yes. This will be a bad choice on Tommy's part, but we're going to go for it. And we're going to re-roll that.
All right. You don't have anything that gives you bonuses to intimidation, do you?
No. I'm just doing the silent stare at him, trying to burn holes in the back of his head with my eyes.
But you are a physically imposing figure, I believe, correct?
Yes.
All right.
I'm a large SOB.
All right. He looks at you as you're staring at him, and there's just silence goes in between the two of you. And he just kind of pats you on the arm, says, "You have a good night." He turns and walks away.
As he's walking away, Tommy, under his breath, will say something along the lines of, "Hope you don't fall down too much later." As
your gaze goes away from Officer Kelly, and you turn your attention back to the crowd, Beetle has worked his way right up towards you, and he looks at you. wrinkly face, just kind of stares at you. And hey, Tommy, I know you're working. I know you're working and everything. I don't want to interrupt you too much, okay? He says, but he leans in. He goes, I got you a fight. He says, he just pats his, don't say anything. You just think about it. We'll talk when you come to the gym.
Tommy's rolling things over in his mind, going through all the times that Beetle has set up a fight before he went away, and the history that they've got together. And the only thing he says to Beetle is, above board?
He just nods. It's all straight. It's all straight.
No strings?
Only the laces on your boots.
When?
We're working that out. I'll talk. You need a bit more time. You need a bit more practice time.
Okay.
And then he fades off and goes back down the street.
I hear guys and dames complaining all the time about this and that, this choice or that choice. You want to know a tough choice? I got one. How about when you're in a trench somewhere in France, somewhere where it smells of nothing but gunpowder and blood, and you're staring at the eyes of two men. Both are dying. You only got time to take one with you, save because over 100 Bosch soldiers are bearing down on you, and they've got something with them, something you've never seen before, something that chills you in parts you never thought would be cold. Who do you take? Who did I take? The guy that owed me $10. But I'm done making those kind of choices.
So, Miles.
What?
You have made it to the place where you know the four of you will eventually meet up. It's a club of some sort. It's a place where you've all hung out there before. Yeah, so you're the first one there, and you saw that none of the other group has arrived yet. And so the general common practice for all four of you is when that happens, that you never go to your set table. You always just kind of hang at the bar and wait until there's more of you, just as paranoia kind of precaution thing.
Then I'll go hang at the bar.
You're at the bar and having a tonic water with some ice, and this guy comes and he sits down next to you, and he has on a little bit of more of a ragged coat. And what are those types of hats that it's not a bowler hat, it's the one the British cap where it is attached to the brim. What are those called? I can never remember what those are. Anybody remember?
I've only referred to him as golfer hats.
Yeah, it's like that style. I know there's
Page boy.
What would you say? Page boy?
Page boy.
Maybe. That sounds like that's what that could be. Now I have to look. Yeah, that's yeah. All right. Yeah, but page boy golfer hat. Yep, it's like that, and it's pretty ragged. And you can hear him say, "I'll have what he's having." And a couple of minutes go by, and you're minding your own business, and he leans over. Hey, how are you?
I won't say anything. I'll just look at him.
All right. So you're quiet. That's all right. I'll talk for a little bit. You just talk when you feel like it. How does that sound?
Again, won't say anything.
We know that we're all kind of feeling bad about how how Dad had to leave everybody, right? And come in and broken up the family, kind of the way they did. and all that. That's too bad. But we kind of can agree that I'm sure that all the dads, kids, that they want to know, they feel that they can run the show. But I think that to coin that phrase, the too many cooks phrase, too many cooks spoil the soup, too many cooks spoil the soup. You know what I mean? And so you gotta have a head chef, And Miles, you're really good with taking care of people, and and Dad and all of the kids, they always appreciated everything you always did, because you were really good at that. I'm thinking there needs to be, I'm sure that you'd want to agree, there has to probably be a head chef of all those cooks, right? And I'm thinking maybe if O'Banion, if he wanted to be the head chef, I think that you'd be all right with that, huh? Hey, you know what I tell you? You don't have to feel like you got to answer right now, but I think O'Banion's probably the way to go. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Unless you want to say something. I mean, you want to say something? All right. That's fine. You just keep that thought in mind. Because you're a smart guy, Miles. Miles, you're a really smart guy. I think that you'll always make the right decision. I mean, you do. And you got them laying on the table there. You always have made the right decisions. So, and Banyan appreciates that. I'm sure he would. But kind of pats you on your forearm.
I'll look down at my arm where he's patting it, and then look up into his face.
Yeah, you understand. I can see it in your eyes. Yeah.
And he's not looking really hard.
Are you attempting to intimidate, or are you attempting to? What are you trying to communicate with him?
Yeah, I'm trying to communicate that if he touches me again, I will stick my scalpel through his throat.
Make me.
I don't know. This sounds like persuasion to me.
It sounds like a form of nonverbal persuasion. Yeah, make me a persuasion roll. Oh, you have persuasion, do you?
I do.
Yes, we'll go with the 4. Why not? He puts his hand on your arm, and you look at him in that way, and
In that way.
Hey, baby. And his eyes, you can see there's a little twitch in his eye, and he says, "Oh, well, maybe you just need a little bit more time to think about it. Yeah, I think that might be it. So, okay, you know what? Hey, I'm just the messenger, but I'll let him know what you're thinking. All right?" Plops a couple of coins on the bar. He says, "Whatever he was having, get him one more on me." And then he goes to put his hand on your arm, and then he stops just before it touches the material of your jacket. And then he looks at you, and he gives you kind of this little smart ass kind of grin. He says, "Yeah, see, I know what you're saying. Then he gets up and moves away from the bar and disappears into the crowd. And then you can see as he goes away, and you look down, he left his drink, and on the napkin there he had written O'Banion.
I will take the napkin, wad it up, and stick it in his drink.
Everyone has a choice, but those choices often come back to bite you harder than the thunder in your ears the morning after. What seems like a pleasant night of gin and company turns into the wretched fog before an oncoming storm. I made my choice when I was too young to understand, and I'm still accumulating interest with every step I take. Each picture, another payment towards the debt on my shoulders. Each story I uncover, another lucky penny waiting for me on the sidewalk. It's why I canvass them. It's why I can't stop. Every photo I take is another choice documented and shown to the world. To make sure they understand this is what it means. I'm no street corner doomsayer. These pictures are the truth. Warnings. Guidance. The prairie oyster to wipe away the pain and help them see what could be rattling their door. When the storm hits, I want them in shelter. Not on the front lines. Not like my father. Not like me. And if I have to slap the hangover out of them, so be it. This is my choice.
Irving. Sirens are approaching and they sound like they're very close. You're standing there over the body of your compatriot, Mumphrey. He's lying there. Clearly he's dead. The sirens are approaching and your eyes slowly just roll over and you see just off to the side his camera is lying there. And you can tell that the flash bulb in his camera has expended. And the sirens are approaching.
Being the, I believe the correct term is impulsive person that I am, I know, because I saw the flash earlier, that he must have gotten a great shot at this thing before he died. And I need to know what it is, because my shot he might have been in motion, which means it's probably going to be blurry, and he must have gotten a better shot. So I'm going to grab his camera and cover my tracks.
And you're going to try and get away?
Yes. Because I'm assuming the way I came into the area is back through the alleys, and the police will be coming from the other direction. So I'm thinking I'm going to grab the camera and then kind of shuffle the snow as I go back the other direction and go back out into the alleys.
All right, make me a common knowledge roll. Actually, let's see. No, you know what? Let's do it this way. Make me a common knowledge roll first.
Okay, I can do that. There's my 5 again.
All right, so that will give you a +1 to the stealth roll that you're about to make to try and get away.
That I can do. 6.
6, not bad. All right, let's see how you fare against the cops. Basically, what ends up happening here is you are able to get yourself away enough where you hear a shout from behind you of somebody saying, "Hey, hold up there!" But I'm assuming you keep going. Well, actually, do you keep going, or do you stop?
I'm gonna have to keep going. It'd be really bad that I didn't stay there. I'll just pretend I don't hear them and walk around that corner rather than take off, and then take off when I get around the corner. Now, I will make sure to walk. Okay, I'll make a performance roll for this if I have to walk so it doesn't look like I have a limp at that time.
As you're walking away.
When why they can see me, yes.
You do not hear any sounds of pursuit, and you're able to essentially remove yourself from that situation. Do you want to try and go back to where you had taken your first photo?
Yes, because I want to grab whatever caught my eye earlier.
All right. It takes you a little bit. You have to take definitely the scenic route to get through and around and everything, but you do get back to that spot. You get there, and the snow is still continuing to come down, so you can still see some of the impressions where whatever this thing was had like slid and moved from your surprise, and
where I fell over.
And where you fell over, and once again your brain is telling you one part of your brain is telling you one thing, but the more logical part of your brain is telling you another. The fantastical part of your brain is making it seem or making it look like there's almost like a combination of some sort of cat print, dog print, you're not sure, but also kind of coupled with like longer nails, almost like human fingers. So like the palm of the hand matches up with like a dog or cat paw, and then it's got these long, unnatural things out there. You can definitely see one solid print of something like that there. But the more logical part of you is saying that's just, it's maybe some snow melted, maybe it was something underneath, but that can't be what that is.
Oh, and is that the thing that caught my eye before? Possibly?
Yeah, that was the unusual thing that
Well, I definitely can't take a picture of it because that would definitely, because I'm not that far away. So I'll just have to remember that one. And say, no. It's just, it's probably when I fell, some snow just kind of fell over onto it, and it just obscured it enough that it just happens to look like a paw print of some sort. That's it. It can't be anything else. No, of course not.
Absolutely can't.
I need to go get these developed. and then I pull out my. Or actually, I need to go to. I'm probably a little late at this point, so I need to start heading for the club first.
Exactly. It's time to meet your friends.
Hauling my 2 cameras in one bag here. And I'll take the
time period kind of stunk for cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Take a nice scenic route so I avoid the crime scene altogether.
Okay. And make your way back to your group rendezvous.
These will be anonymous photos when they get published.
And now, some wondrous words of wisdom about products to make your life better.
Tune in, listeners, to more tales of terror with the Rogue Valley Roleplayers. Witness thrilling adventures as our heroes make their stand against the supernatural horrors of the Pacific Northwest. There's a cold wind blowing through the Cascade Mountains and a terrible hunger no feast can satiate. And we'll take everything the posse's got and more if they are to survive the winter. Join Sheriff Abraham Ross, Deputy Rachel Jane Kennedy, Haru Matsuhara, Raylan Daisy Gilmore, and Makaru the Payaso in The Valley of Famine. New episodes bi-monthly on Fridays. You can find the Rogue Valley Roleplayers podcast on your preferred podcast station. Hold on to your hats, folks. It's gonna be a wild ride.
Well, if the show's called Gun for Hire, then where the hell is Grace Gunn? Don't worry, Pally. She'll be back sooner than the next installment of Gordon of Ghost Rock City. Maybe by then we'll get this crew together. Alright, that's enough for now. But just so we're clear, the part of Tommy Bam Bam Prue was played by Brent Rich. Miles Pike is played by Scott R. Nelson. Irving Holt is played by Brad Smith. And the boss in charge of this clip joint is Chris Hussey. I'm E.I. Wick, and remember, taking a wooden nickel is less trouble than a Ghost Rock dime.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Hexaco Mystery Radio Hour. This game references the Savage Worlds game system, available from Pinnacle Entertainment Group at peginc.com. It is unofficial media content permitted under the Media Network Content Agreement. This content is not managed, approved, or endorsed by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Certain portions of the materials used are the intellectual property of Pinnacle, and all rights are reserved. Savage Worlds, all related settings, and unique characters, locations, logos, and trademarks are copyrights of Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Hexaco wants to remind you to make your car run like magic and always use great Hexaco products. Until next time, I'm Silver Sterling, reminding you to always keep one eye on the shadows.